Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Zell. So today we're here on my living room area and I am going to today is my giant birds of paradise plant care day. So I decided while I'm doing the plant care, like I'm gonna have to drag this plant all the way there on to your back, the back of the camera, next to the stairs to reach all the leaves because it's tall. And I decided while doing that, instead of speeding up the video with music, I am going to share you guys kind of like my care tips and tricks on how to grow a large uh, birds of paradise. So yeah, I use uh, I usually do plant care with this plant every every once every 2 months, but since like probably November last year, I haven't done like wiping off the leaves and all that with this plant because we got really sick a couple of times and we got really busy during the holiday season. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna do that today and show you guys my kind of like my care guide and stuff like that. But yeah, I am just gonna bring this plant in here and get my stuff that I use for cleaning the leaves, and we're gonna start with the care guide tips and tricks. Okay guys, I'm just gonna get my uh like a bucket and a paper towel, or no, like a rug to use wipe this plant. I use water and alcohol and dishwashing soap, and that's what I use to like clean these big leaves. So yeah, let me go grab those and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm just gonna get the rug and we're gonna start with cleaning the leaves and with the care tips. So number one, I'm gonna put it on the screen, you guys. Uh, is let's start with, if you don't have a birds of paradise yet and you are planning to have one or get yourself one, uh, make sure you walk around your house and see if you have a space for a large plant like this, because I think most of the people that uh, get this plant, uh, they we I myself we got shocked of how fast and how large this plant can grow. This is the white birds of paradise. So this is the one that get really big with big leaves. But if you don't have like a high ceiling, you can always get the orange birds of paradise. That one stays short and more like bushy if you don't have a space. So yeah, just make sure that you have a space for the plant, like for a long time, because I'm sure you can get a small, like probably 1 feet 2 feet plants like this. It started as a around 2 feet plants. I can see the pictures, show you guys the picture, and over it's already probably 4 years and it grows into this big large plant. So yeah, make sure you have a space, east facing, south facing, or west facing window. So this one gets morning light from the east facing window that we have in here, it's not big, but it's kind of like three set of uh three set of windows, and it gets obviously morning light, and uh yeah, it stays really bright. But yeah, that's the number one. Just make sure that you have a space for the big plant. Okay, number two is, I would say, get this plant from a big box store. You can always find this plant from Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot. I just noticed that the big plants, like, what you call that, statement plants, like Birds of Paradise or Fiddlefig or something. If you can see, it's like something like Dracena marginata, this big. They're more expensive to get from a nursery or like a small plant shop than from the uh, big box store. So if you want to save money, you can always find this plant in a big box store. I got this for $12 from Lowe's, one plant. But after we moved, I think we moved to this house 2 years ago, and I repotted this plant into a bigger pot. I decided to get another plant from Lowe's. I think two plants in there with like $30, like a already bigger plant. So yeah, this one that I'm cleaning right now is the one that I uh, planted together with the big one, because I wanted it to be like bushier down, because the stems are already like long and really tall. So I put two more plants in here, but it actually already growing. Oop, I repeat, it's fine. Growing really big now. So yeah, that's the second one. Just get it from the big box store. You don't need to uh, spend lots of money with this plant, because also about the size of the plant, you can always get it like a small size plant because they will grow. It's not like fast that it give you like I would say a leaf every week. It's not like that. It's probably at least one every month, a few months, because especially when it's bigger, it takes a lot of time for the new leaf to emerge, like few months for just one leaf. So yeah, just get probably a small plant from a big box store, like what I did. Also, all the things that I'm saying in here is just based on my experience growing this plant. I'm sure different people, different part of like the world, they grow this plant differently. This plant is tropical plant, so you can see this on like tropical country outside. They're actually not an indoor plant, but house plant people make everything indoors. They make it an indoor plant as long as you give it a lot of lights. So yeah, that's for the number two. Okay, guys, number three. So you already bought the plant, you brought it to your house. I think this works like I do this with all of the plants that new plants that I bring to my house. Make sure you isolate the new plants from the rest of your collection, especially if you get it from a big box store. I feel like they always have spider mites. So yeah, isolate it for probably a week or two, and uh make sure you check. Of course, you do this while you're still like shopping for the plant. Make sure there's no pest while you're shopping for the plants. But sometimes, even no matter how I like check the plants while shopping, when I get home, there's still something going, like something is in there, like you don't really see it right away. So anyway, isolate the plants and then spray it with whatever like spray that you use for pest prevention. I use a neem oil mixed with water, and alcohol. Yeah, I use those three and mix it up, and yeah, I just spray it and check if it needs water while you're isolating it. Make sure that you're actually taking care of it, not just like sometimes I before I would just put the plants right next to my front door for 2 weeks and not like doing anything. So make sure you're still taking care of the plants even if you're like isolating it. But yeah, that's would be like the rule for all the plants that you bring home to avoid like bad like infesting your the whole plant collection. So anyway, that's gonna be for the number three. The number four is after a few weeks and you're already ready to repot the plant. Uh, yeah, I would do that. I wait a few weeks to repot the plant. Make sure it I don't shock the plants. Uh, except for when I buy like a starter plants from like online that I need to like pot them up right away. But for like more established plant, it's fine to let them sit there for a while and not shock them uh, when you bring them home. So yeah, that's gonna be I'm down number three and number four. I think I'm all over the place. Number four is repotting. So there's a different factor when you're repotting: the size of the pot that you're gonna use, the kind of the pot, and then the soil. Make sure that you're gonna use with your plants. So for the size of the pot, it's also like a general rule I would say for all of the plants, house plants, that you go just 2 inches bigger than the previous pot. Uh you can't just pot plant a small plant into a big plant thinking that it's gonna grow into a big plant. So I can just put it on a big on a big pot right away, so you don't have to repot them. It's good not good for the plant in my experience. You can just gradually repot it. I think this plant I repotted it for 3 times already. So I had it for 4 years and I repotted it 3 times already. So yeah, uh you can't just because you think that it's okay to plant the small plant into a big pot, it's going to have a root rot because the root ball is too small, and then when you water the plant on the whole pot, uh the roots will not gonna reach those water and absorb them. So it's just gonna cause a root rot and eventually we're gonna kill your plant. So yeah, uh that's gonna be the result if you just put it on a big pot right away. uh and then next, the size of the pot, and then next is the kind of pot that you want this to plant. So I would not recommend planting this on uh, a terracotta, because terracotta usually, not usually, it will uh, uh, dry up quickly, and this plant likes water. It doesn't like to dry up. So yeah, I don't recommend terracotta or a ceramic. Ceramic killed few of my plants when I was just starting collecting plants before, because they are so heavy and I don't actually I don't actually know when to water the plants, because that's why I would recommend um, plastic pot for this plant, because before when I was starting, the after I killed few plants in the ceramic pot, I actually put all of my plants in either terracotta or plastic, so I can actually just lift the whole pot like that, and I will know that the plants already need water. Because when it's heavy, this one is a little heavy right now, it means I don't need to water it yet, but when it needs water, pretty lightweight, even if it's a big plant. So yeah, I would just recommend a plastic pot. And if you want it to look nice, you can always put it on like a those big basket, like looking nice, looking nice looking basket that you can put your like uh plastic pot, like a decorative basket, or use a ceramic pot as a decorative pot. So you can actually, it's easier to bring it somewhere. Or yeah, like me, I just push this all the way in here. uh, it doesn't have a trolley because nothing fits on this one. I think I need to get a bigger one, so it's easier for me to push this back and forth. So yeah, I just would recommend plastic pot to plant this uh birds of paradise. Okay, next, after you determine what size of pot, what kind of pot you gonna plant your birds of paradise with, you're gonna have to uh think about the soil mix or the potting soil that you're gonna uh use as a medium for the plant. I use just a regular potting soil and mix it with perlite, orchid bark, worm casting, slow release fertilizer, cocoa chips, and horticultural charcoal. So yeah, I just mix them up. Uh, please do not just buy like a bag of Miracle Grow. I actually use Miracle Grow, but I mix it with all of the things that I just said earlier. I just uh they what I'm saying, I got distracted with my finally playing my cat and my dog. Uh, do not just buy a Miracle Grow and use it to plant uh, your birds of paradise or any kind of plants just with the regular potting soil, the Miracle Grow, because I did that before. I made a mistake. I killed few plants with that. Those regular potting soil are just too dense, and when you water them, it's like takes you have to wait 1 month to water the plant again because they're just they're all like, I don't know. I think those are just petals, right? And a little bit of perlite, and I think slow release fertilizer. So you need lots of like amendments for a like aerated potting soil. Uh, Honestly, for all of the plants. But yeah, make sure you have like a chunky. I would say chunky. Uh, I use those that mixture for almost all of my plants, but I would change like probably use just a little bit of perlite or orchid bark when I'm doing like my begonia because they love water and they don't really need a chunky like mix. So I would just uh, put a lesser perlite or orchid bark with it. But for this plant, those are just for me because you don't need to follow what I say, but this is just what I use for my plants. Uh, yeah. Uh, Soil. I would say soil. Oop, the soil that you're gonna make is gonna determine how healthy. It's like an important part of having a healthy plant in general, like your soil, your potting soil. So yeah, I'm gonna list all of the amendments that I. Oof, yeah, I'm getting distracted, but yeah. After that, when you already have those are a lot. So if you have more plants, you can always use that with your other plants. But because I use that mixture with most of my plants, especially aeroids. So what's next? This after that, so you already repotted your plant. You now can sprinkle a little bit of, not a little bit, you do have to follow the instruction on the container, but I use, after I repotted a new plant, I use a systemic granule. It's like a pest prevention. uh so whatever's in the soil, it's gonna just kill all the like bugs or uh bad bad bugs on the soil. So it's a systemic granule. And also, uh probably a couple of times a year, I would actually add a worm casting on the top of the soil. Worm casting and a slow release fertilizer. Probably 3 times a year I would do that. So yeah. And then again, if your plant is still small and you can put it on uh like in your bathtub or on your shower, you spray it again. I do that, like I spray it right after I brought it home, and then after I repotted it, I'm gonna spray it again. Just it's easier to do a pest prevention than to actually fight a bad infestation on your collection. So yeah, uh, that's gonna be for like the number 4 for repotting. It's a lot of factor, as I've said earlier. But anyway, after that you already repotted it. Now is the time where you're gonna have to. It's one of the most important also thing on making this plant happy is the number 5. Number 5 will be the lighting. This plant needs lots of lights, and I think the common mistakes of people, because this plant, I would say the same with fiddly, this plant is kind of more like a statement plant, and they look nice on uh like in a corner of the room, and people would actually put this on a, please do not put this thing on a corner without a window. I would say, as I've said earlier, east, south, west is good for this plant. Do not put it on a north facing window, please. If it's still a small plant, you can always get like a grow light on top of it. But if it grows into like this big plant, I don't think I don't think you can even go up on the ceiling and put a grow light, even if you want to. So I would say just put it. It would love the natural light. It's one of the important factor, I would say. I'm sure everything that I listed in here is important factor, but lighting is generally the what you call that. It's like it determines your plants will gonna be healthy. So yeah, just give it lots of light. It's a tropical plant. They love. I just strip another leaf. They love lots of lights. So yeah, they love lots of lights. That would be very very important. I think that's it for lighting. Just make sure the more the light you can give this plant, the more that it's gonna be happy. I'm not even gonna almost I think about it's gonna get like sunburnt or something. As long as it's inside your house, I never bring this plant outside because we live in North Texas, and on the summer it's really hot, and we always have a storm. So this plant will not gonna stand on that uh, wind, like strong wind uh, outside. So I just put it inside. Okay, guys. Number six after the light thing would be the watering. So this plant loves water. It doesn't like to be like dried up. So I would say I water this plant every week. And yeah, I don't have a schedule for watering with my plants. I would just check on the soil. As I've said earlier, I would leave it up like that. Even if this is a big plant, I would try to leave it up. That's why I put most of my plants on a plastic pot, so it's easier for me to tell when to water it by lifting it up. That's I don't use those, what you call that, the thing that you put onto the soil, and it tells you when to water your plants. I don't know what kind of things is that, hydrometer. I don't know, but yeah, no schedule, just check on your plants. Whoop. uh, uh, Once a week with the soil mix that I mentioned. You would want to water it once a week, because it's gonna be like a chunky mix. Do not let this plant dry. Whew, dry up, because it actually will give you like a hint that it's already, I don't know if it's doing this, but it sometimes it's kind of like a form like that. Some of the leaves will go like that, like a tacos. Yeah, that's it, means they need water. When your plants, when the leaves started to do like that, do not worry, it's will gonna open after few days of watering the plants. This is hard work. So yeah, that would be the number six. Is that number six? And yeah, number seven would be the fertilizing. So this plant is a large plant, large leaves. They are heavy feeders, so I do use, as I've said earlier, while repotting it, you put worm casting and a slow release fertilizer. But every watering, I would still use all-purpose fertilizer. Is a Jack's Classic water soluble. I would actually use a half of scoop. There's a scoop inside the container when you buy the plants. Just a half of scoop of that into a gallon of water, and I use that every watering. So yeah, and a couple of times a year, I would still tap the, the soil with uh, slow release fertilizer and whew, slow release fertilizer and worm casting. So that would be for the fertilizer. I don't get crazy with fertilizer. I just use the Jack's Classic for all of my plants. Everything like aeroids, cactus, orchid, because I don't really want to do research with every little different kind of fertilizer for every like genus of plants. So yeah, that be it for the fertilizing. Okay, guys, for number eight is, it's what we're doing right now. It's wipes wipe the leaves. Uh, these plants This one is already forming into a taco. I think I need to water this one again. You see that, you guys? It's a taco. This is the biggest one. But anyway, clean the leaves. I would say wipe it off. Uh, I use uh, alcohol, water, and dish soap. Uh, it helps the plant photosynthesize and also for pest prevention. But yeah, and also just when the leaves are shiny and clean, it looks nice. The plant looks healthy. Uh, I when this one was still little before, I would put it on this bathtub or a shower to spray, give it a shower or spray it down with my neem oil mix. But now that it's like a giant, uh, I just have to drag this in here every uh, couple of months to clean all of the leaves. So yeah, number 8 is just clean the leaves because that's how they eat from the leaves. The so they can photosynthesize better. Yeah, and next to that would be number 9 would be stake your plants. So if you don't want your plant to look like the picture that I'm going to show you in here, uh, you need to use. You can see this. It's like a gardening stake. This is the longest one that I can find from Lowe's. Uh, I just put it on both sides because this plant grows kind of like left and right, like that, like uh, alternate. So the next, this is hard now. Actually, I think I need another stake on both sides, kind of make them four, because they've been growing lots of leaves already. But I don't want to do it like just put it all the way in there right now. I actually did this when I repotted the plant because I don't want to damage the roots and eventually it will gonna kill the plant. So I have to wait. I have to wait until I repotted this plant again to put another to put another stake. So yeah, it just make the plant look nice when when you stake it. I use this twine to tie it up. I'm sure you can use a velcro, but I don't really like the velcro from the plants because sometimes it damage the stems of the plants. So yeah, I just use the twine, string, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, and then the next one would be just for the pest. It sure does have a pest, but it's not like a big. If you follow all the like sprinkle when you're potting, clean the leaves and all that, you eventually not gonna have a problem. But if you have it next to your other plants that might have a pest, then it can infest the plant too. So on this particular plant, I had a problem with just the spider mites. I don't know if it has spider mites right now. Probably have some, but uh, this got the spider mites from my regal shield that was sitting next to it like long time, no, like last year, that I had to get rid of that regal shield because it has spider mites and uh what you call that, thrips. This one thankfully didn't get thrips, I think, because the leaves of this are shiny and kind of like thick. The thrips likes alocasia and some variety of monstera. They likes it because their leaves are like soft and they're easier for them to like go in there because they lay eggs on the leaves. So this one is a thick, leathery, not leathery, shiny. I feel like they're gonna need like a lot of power to dig inside. So spider mites are actually easy for me. At least it's easier. Just do the prevention and the cleaning of the leaves. Those will help with your future pest problem. So it's better to do pest prevention than to actually fight infestation. So better every couple of months do the cleaning with your leaves. It works. I also do with my other plants, like most of my plants, because I was so traumatized when I got thrips last year. Uh, Thankfully, I don't see any of them on my plants anymore. I think I got rid of the thrips when I got rid of, I mean, I chopped my Monstera esqueleto. That stopped all the thrips. So, yeah, I would say just follow all the prevention. Prevention is better. Best prevention is better. And sometimes I go get nuts, the flying, annoying flying thing that goes to your nose, at least my nose. But yeah, I would just put. Sometimes I use Dimaticus earth, or mosquito bits. Sprinkle it in the top of the soil, and yeah, it's nuts. I don't really care about nuts. Sometimes it goes to your coffee too, but they're not they're not that bad. I'll take spider mites and nuts every day. Just not the thrips, the scale, or the mealybugs. I don't like those three. Three pests. Those are so hard to get rid of. But yeah, that would be for number 9. And just additional uh, things is, if your leaves are splitting, do not worry. I had a few people ask me, I think because I made like a shorts when I did my care video of this few months ago, and it got probably 24,000 views, which is crazy. And there's few people that asking about all those like splitting and stuff like that. The splitting is of the leaves are actually normal, because on the nature outside, it actually, like, the nature did do that to the leaves to avoid getting knocked down by like strong winds, I think. Because if it just, this one is, you guys, this is perfect. I will show you this leaf later, and I'm gonna try to actually measure it. But if you just have these big leaves without any splits, it's easy for the wind to get knocked, for the plant to get knocked over, or just like knock over the whole stuff. So I think it also the same with monstera. That's why monsteras, because they grow big leaves. That's why the nature make it grows those holes, so the wind can just go through the holes, and it doesn't have to I explain. Well, you know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. But yeah, the splitting is normal. Do not worry about that. And also, the dying old leaves are also normal. They're not gonna live forever. Like, especially as long as the dying leaves are the older ones, like the baby leaves, it's fine. As long as not the newest leaf, yeah, then you're gonna have. Do you really have a problem if uh, the new leaf is browning or yellowing or something like that? But yeah, dying old leaves, and oh, this keeps splitting this thing, and dying old leaves, and ish, splitting is normal. And also sometimes the leaves are actually trying uh, struggling to like unfurl. Some people I saw, they use those like hot warm towel method. You just kind of like touch the new leaf that is unfurling like that, and it will actually help unfurl plants. But honestly, I didn't have to do that with this. The Sometimes when I know that the plants are struggling to like unfurl, it's already out, but it's struggling to unfurl, I would just water the plants. It actually gives, uh, I guess, the moisture help them unfurl the the struggling leaves. Yeah, so those are just like things to consider. I have to finish this, and I have to push for these big ones. I have to push this all up, all the way. So I guess that would be it. I split it. It's fine. I don't really worry about the splitting. But they look for when they look perfect, they're so pretty. That's I know people want their plants to look like that. Let's see. So yeah, after that, just do the watering every week with your, and you can enjoy your the largest plant on your house. I'm sure it's gonna be the largest plant on your house because this one is we have a lot of large plants in this house, and this one is every plants will bow to this because it's like it actually need to start paying a mortgage. It's part of the mortgage. But yeah, that would be for my care tips and tricks. Uh, I just need to finish this thing up. Okay, guys, we're upstairs. I'm just gonna show you guys that this leaves actually has a spider mite damage. See that? Uh, this is what happened when I do not clean the leaves for around probably 5 6 months. See that? So now I need to actually make sure to wipe it all down. Those are spider mites. So this is the newest leaf. It it doesn't look like it has a spider mite because obviously it's new. So oh yeah, that one there. This one has the most. This is like the soap, but you can see all the spider mite damage in there, down in there, which is annoying. This leaf looks healthy and perfect. This one is, but I have to make sure to wipe it all good, and then probably gonna do it for a couple of weeks, every week I would say, just to make sure they don't get back again. Doesn't help me here, but yeah, just for so you know what kind of pest it can actually get. That's why you need to clean the leaves. Anyway, I'll go clean this up all again. uh it's actually so hard to to reach them, but I'll probably put it back again in there. So anyway, I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. I finally wiped of all of the leaves, and honestly it's a little bit surprising, but I guess it explains the some of the leaves are not looking healthy, like those tacos looking one. So yeah, I did wipe off all the leaves. As I've said earlier, spider mites is, oh, it's, I'm not scared of it. I just have to be consistent. So I'm gonna be wiping this off for a few weeks now. Uh, I'm not gonna film it obviously because it's gonna be really boring. But I guess it's a perfect time for this video, so I can show you guys the result of when you don't take care of your plants, especially with big leaves, large plants. It's actually hard to take care of them sometimes because of how big they are, and it's hard to wipe it off. I have to go up in there, and it's. I wish I have like a tall ladder, but I just actually just grab the big leaves and try to uh drag it from grab it so I can uh reach it from the top of the stairs. But yeah, I actually will be sprinkling some of the my systemic granule because I it's been a while last year since I put some on the soil, and then I'm also gonna put some a slow release fertilizer because I ran out of my Jack's Classic fertilizer that I use every watering. So I'm just gonna just put a little bit of the slow release fertilizer for now. So yeah, I'm just gonna do all that and then put this plant back because it's already like 12. I started at 10 and now it's 12, so I have to cook some lunch. But yeah, I will be right back. Okay guys, we're finally done. So I wasn't expecting of actually seeing a spider mites, but it's fine. It's good that I actually did this video, so now I know that I have to deal with the spider mites. So I did wipe up everything, like the all leaves. It still looks nice in there. I love it so much, and yeah, I water it, or I put fertilizer and systemic granule, and everything's fine. From probably this week, maybe another 2 weeks, that I'm going to need to wipe it off camera, of course, so I can just do it as fast as possible. I don't need to film it anyway. If you have any question, please give me leave me a comment down below, and if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, if you don't have birds of paradise yet, go get yourself one. This one is probably the most uh the plant that people complimented most complimented plant in my house. It is because when you open the front door, you can actually see the whole plant, and I guess because of the size and how big it is, it that's why people will, oh my gosh, you got such a like a nice uh birds of paradise. But yeah, uh it's a beautiful plant, a lot of work, you gonna have to work with it. Also, I'm just gonna show you guys, in here is actually uh, a variegated mint birds of paradise. You see that? Looks like it has uh, a spider mite, but this is a beautiful plant I got from the greenscape, and I would love to actually collect a different variegated bird of paradise. So I started with the mint variegated. So yeah, it's actually growing. These three leaves grow in my care. It's a star plants, and I got it, I think, for $25. And I think I was so lucky because until now I still checking like the listing of the birds paradise on the shop. They don't have any available yet. This is the only plant that uh they actually sold in there, I think, and I'm glad that I grabbed it. That was probably before Christmas last year. So yeah, it's been growing, and see the roots. Ah, I probably need to put this up onto a bigger pot now, but yeah, I just want to show you guys. I have two birds of paradise, and I don't know if this will grow into like a big, large, like the white one, but I don't mind. So yeah, so if ever we move, because me and my husband are already talking about how are we gonna move that plant if in the future, not right now, in the future we're gonna have to move or downsize like the house. Uh, we don't know what we're gonna do with it. So if ever we just leave it in here or sell it or whatever, I still have a birds of paradise that I can bring with me because it's small. So anyway, birds of paradise, love it. So yeah, I guess that's it for today. I feel like I'm like whispering, but anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I post two videos and two shorts a week. And if you love this birds of paradise, give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.